Hi guys, today I want to share with you something. I think it's very important for you to know these things, especially now with the budget that we just received from the minister, the budget speech, and the changes in taxes, stuff like that. And it is the end of the financial year, on the 28th of February. It will be the end of the financial year. Today is the 26th of February. So I think it's important to just cover the trust benefits with you quickly. Those of you who attended my seminars will know exactly what it is about. You will know that I'm 100% in favor of putting everything in trust because that is the only way. Listen carefully, guys. This is the only way to conquer, or let me rather say, to counter the, the high tax rates of the South African government. So here I have a slide, one of the slides that I use on the Wealth Master seminars, and I just want to go through this slide with you quickly to refresh your memories, and for those of you who are seeing it for the first time, to give you perhaps a wake-up call. The trust benefits, and guys, I'm not just talking about any trust here, I'm talking about the TRIOC type of trust, and our trusts are completely different from other trusts in South Africa. Although it is an inter vivos, discretionary trust, the wording of our trust deeds are specialized. Without our trust deeds, these wonderful benefits, not all of them will be achieved, that I can assure you. Right, so a trust obviously provides full asset protection. That's clear. Everything in the trust actually becomes untouchable. Creditors cannot get to it. Liquidators cannot get to it unless the trust itself is in trouble. But your personal creditors cannot touch your trust assets. A trust also provides full protection for minor children. I don't know if you are aware of the fact that minor children cannot inherit in South Africa. You have to be older than 18 to inherit. Few people know this, but it's a fact. So, those of you with young children, if the parents die in a car crash or whatever, then the children will be too young to inherit. So, what happens is all your assets will be sold, and the cash, the proceeds of that, which will not be much because the assets will be sold on, uh, on auctions that are arranged by the liquidators, and prices on these auctions are very, very low. So therefore then, the proceeds of your assets will be paid into the Guardians Fund of Government, the Voogdijfonds. Guardians Fund will then use the cash, because Guardians Fund, you see, Guardians Fund can only hold cash. That is why everything has to be liquidated. And then the Guardians Fund will use the money to pay for the schooling and living cost of your children until they reach the age of 18, after which they will receive what is left in that fund. In a trust, in a TRIOC type of trust, there will be no estate freezing. And that gives full access to the assets by the spouse and the minors. Very important this. If you do not have a trust in place, on time of death, all your assets will be frozen. And your spouse, the living spouse, will not be able to get access to the money, the assets, or anything until the liquidators, or sorry, not the liquidators in this case, the executors, which is not much different from liquidators anyways, until the executors give permission for your spouse and the minors to get access to the assets. That might be like 6 months after your death. No, in a trust, there's none of that. If you die today, tomorrow your spouse and your children will have access to the trust, as always. No problem. In a TRIOC type of trust, no auditing is required. That is the way we write the trust. You still have to provide financial statements to SARS every year, but now ordinary bookkeepers can do it, which is a lot cheaper than auditors. But now I'm getting to the reason why I'm actually making this video. Last week in the budget speech, the minister announced a 25% increase in estate duty, from 20% to 25%. Guys, that is a 25% increase. It is not a 5% increase. It is a 5 percentage points increase. But it means it is a 25% increase in that estate duty. Estate duty is boedelbelasting. Some people think estate duty is some kind of tax that you pay when you buy or sell properties. It has nothing to do with that. Boedelbelasting or estate duty is what your family, your spouse, your heirs will have to pay on your death to get access to your estate. That is now after the auditors paid all the creditors, after the estate was frozen for a while, and after the children were placed in an orphanage or with family members, if both parents died. Estate duty is payable after death. 25%. It is the worst tax of all taxes as far as I'm concerned. And if you read the newspapers now for the last week in South Africa, you will not see a lot about estate duty. Nobody's actually writing about it. Nobody's actually realizing how serious it is. It is a quarter of your estate that has to be paid to SARS after your death. And guys, another bad thing about this estate duty is that it is payable in cash. Now, who dies liquid? 25% of their estates. So what happens is that the executors of your estate will put your assets on an auction to raise cash to pay the estate duty. And it will be their auctions, as I already said. Now, guess who are the executors of your estate? The life insurance companies, the banks. Take a look at your will. If you have a will, take a look at your will. The people who drafted your will, normally those people are the insurance companies or the banks. And in that estate, in that will, you will see that they will also be the executors. You know, guys, it's not rocket science to figure this thing out. The media belongs to the insurance companies. I mean, that's a fact. They own like Media 24, Independent News, and so on. The insurance companies have big stakes in the media companies. So if they create an awareness around estate duty that was increased with 25%, then people are going to look for solutions. And you won't find the solutions with the insurance companies. The only solution the insurance companies will produce for this or present to you for this is life insurance. And life insurance, as far as I'm concerned, is not the solution. Estate eradication is the solution. Get rid of your estate while you're alive. Put your estate in a trust. You can do it at a fraction of the cost than what it will cost your family after your death. If everything is in trust, no estate duty, no executors' fees, which is 4% of the gross value of your estate. You see, that's why they are not making you aware of the fact that boedelbelasting increased with 25%. They want to be the executors, and they want to make money. They want to add 4% on your estate. If everything is in trust, then there are no executors, nothing. There's no executors' fees in the trust, nothing. And there are also no other cost, death cost in the trust. Like, for example, after the longest living spouse died, for your assets to go to your children, 18% capital gains tax will be payable. Now, guys, as I already said, all these things, all these percentages, which is now already, 29, it is 47% that we are looking at here. All this is payable in cash, as I already said. So that means your estate will be liquidated, and there will be nothing left after it is liquidated. Because the average price on these auctions is about 50% of the value. And if it goes to auction, then you can add to these percentages another 10% for auctioneer fees. So what is the solution? The solution is put your assets now while you're alive in an inter vivos trust. It's a living trust. A Trioc type inter vivos trust, not any trust. That's all I wanted to share with you today. You know where to find me. www.treoc.com. At the bottom of the slide, you will see my web address. I'll see you there. Thank you.